Are you a disciple of Jesus Christ? Are you really living the life of a disciple? The next several videos, we're going to talk about the marks of a disciple. What's it mean to really be a follower of Jesus Christ, to be serious about following Him? Well, it starts when you're convinced and converted. We're going to John chapter 6. Now, Jesus has fed just thousands of people with loaves and fish, and they've come back the next day wanting more. And He's trying to explain to them that the point isn't food for your stomach, the point is food for your soul, and He is the living bread. And if they really want to get in on what God has for them, it's not just getting more food for your stomach, it's getting living bread for your soul. But He acknowledges that many of them, when it comes to getting right down to it, don't really believe in Him. And the Father hasn't really drawn them to Him. So in John chapter 6, at the end of the chapter, it says in verse 66, "Now from that time many of His disciples went back and walked with Him no more." Now they were following Him, but they were casual followers. They were casual disciples. They went back and they walked with Him no more. Casual disciples are not really disciples. We have people in our churches. They come on Sundays, they follow God when it's convenient, but they're not really disciples. They leave when the blessings stop. They leave when life gets hard. They bail out on their relationship with God. And they leave when the commitment gets higher. When Jesus begins to ask more, they bail out. They're just casual disciples. They haven't been convinced. They haven't been converted. They're not real disciples. Then in verse 67, Jesus turns to His disciples and He says to the 12, "Well, do you want to go away also?" But Simon Peter, verse 68, answered Him, "Lord, where shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. Also, we've come to believe and know, personally, intimately experience that You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." What He's saying is, we believe and know that You're the Christ, the Son of the living God. We've experienced true salvation. Like the crowd, these disciples started out almost over a year ago, curious about who Jesus was. They became convicted that they needed Him, that they were sinful and needed Him. They became convinced, we know that You have the words of life. We believe and we know. That word know means to personally experience. It means it's used of the intimacy between a husband and a wife, to know one another. It's a very powerful word. We have been convinced, and therefore they have been converted. Well, if you haven't been convinced and converted, you're not going to be a true disciple. Some of us, as pastors, we've tried to disciple people that weren't even converted. It's impossible because they don't have the heart for it. Let me ask you, are you convinced and converted? Have you experienced true salvation? If you have, you're ready for the next step of discipleship.